Mighty a-hole for making Christmas awkward when I said I didn't care if my mom ended up divorced. My dad died when my mom was pregnant with me, 15 male. My brother was 6 when dad died and always talked about him and told me stories about him. He was really affected by dad's death and kept him alive for me in a way. I can't describe it, but some of my favorite memories are of my brother telling me bedtime stories that were just stories about dad, instead of stories from books or made-up stuff. He only had 5 he knew from living them, but they were the best. He also told me stories he got from my dad's family too, just way less frequently since they weren't his lived stories. The stuff made me feel like I still had a dad, even though I didn't have one with me. When I was 6, Mom met my stepdad and married him after 5 months of dating. He wanted a really fast family and wanted to adopt me and my brother. But my brother hated him for expecting it. They had a fight when it was mentioned because our stepdad said he'd be the man of the house and our family. So it only made sense. My brother told him he was a stranger. We only knew him for 3 months when this was happening, so my brother wasn't wrong. It offended our stepdad though. I wasn't okay with it either, and that ticked him off more. He brought it up a bunch of times the first year, and then like 5 times a year after that. My brother told him he'd rather be dead than let him be his dad. I said no, but I tried to not be a jerk about it. I didn't want it and got kind of annoyed by being asked so much. I said that too, but I was told it was something he'd keep asking because he felt he deserved it. My mom wanted him to have what he wanted, and they didn't think it was fair for me to say no when I didn't ever know my dad or have a relationship with him. My mom gave my brother a really hard time for being the cause of it, and my stepdad told me I should want a dad at my age. He said that at a lot of different ages. Yesterday, things got awkward and it's made today awkward too. We're not even that far into today. But my mom and stepdad sat me down, and he told me again he wanted to adopt me. Before I could say no again, he told me he's tired of not having kids of his own. He can't have any, and he wants someone to pass on his family name. He wants that to be me since he raised me as his own. He said he's tired of being dismissed as a dad, and if I don't accept him, then he's done. And he'll either divorce mom or he'll ignore me and my brother forever. My mom told me I need to help her not get divorced and asked if I wanted that for her. I said I don't care. I don't want to be adopted, and I'm not giving in because of their marriage. They didn't like my answer, and now my mom's family's frustrated that I made things so awkward because we're all together and it's bad. I'll probably hide out in my bedroom for the rest of the day because it's intense downstairs. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. It's disgusting that they're putting the fate of their marriage on your shoulders. I'd reach out to your brother or another adult to see if there is a way you can leave. My brother knows about it all, but he can't take me. My mom would fight it, and she would win, because my brother is my brother and not my second parent. He looked into whether I could live with him a year ago, and he was told even if I wanted it, we wouldn't have a chance when I have a living parent. Not the a-hole. You are absolutely not responsible for your mother's marriage. The foundations of their marriage have absolutely nothing to do with whether they adopt you or not. She seems to be manipulative. 100% this. And Opie did not make Christmas awkward. His mom and her husband ruined Christmas with their emotional blackmail. They're massive a-holes, and so are the relatives trying to blame Opie. The relatives from mom's side of the family only care about the mom. It's frustrating how family often jumps to blame the kid instead of holding the adults accountable. Opie deserves support, not guilt for their choices. This is a huge burden for such a young person. You'd be surprised to know adults who own up to accountability has drastically dropped over the years. And something tells me this free fall wouldn't get any better anytime soon. Next story. Am I the a-hole for calling my soon-to-be ex-husband a freaking psycho for putting the news of our divorce in the kids' presents? My soon-to-be ex-husband and I have been married for a long time, but we're going to get divorced soon. We've had our fair share of fights here and there, which is normal for any couple, but he's the type of man who complains a lot, makes a ton of demands, and rarely acknowledges me or includes me in big decisions. Things had already been bad between us, but it got worse when he received his diagnosis. He's suffering from a medical condition. While I sympathize with his condition, I knew this was going to be the end of our marriage. I knew I could not handle this version of him with his condition at all. So I was very honest with him and told him that I wanted a divorce. He was open to it, yet resentful towards me. But he had been for a while now, so yeah. We agreed to tell the kids after Christmas and just be together as a family and enjoy the holidays. Well, he wanted to be petty and get back at me, but I didn't think it'd go to such lengths. In the morning, when our kids, they're 13 and 15 by the way, opened their Christmas presents, they were shocked to find out their dad and I are getting divorced. Their dad printed this on paper and put the papers in their gift boxes. It was horrible. Especially the way he worded it. Merry Christmas. Your mom is divorcing me. The house turned into a crying mess. He wasn't even there. He went to get coffee or something. He knew what was going to happen. Thus, he left the house in the morning. I didn't know what to do. I tried my best to get them to calm down and they called my mom. He came back and I absolutely blew up at him and called him a freaking psycho for doing this to the kids. On Christmas, no less. He defended himself, saying I was no better for deciding to end our marriage right after his diagnosis. I told him it was more because of his awful character than anything else, but he has tainted my image to the kids, as they now think I'm leaving him because of his condition and refuse to speak to me. It got out and in-laws got involved. He told everyone I called him a psycho and yelled at him for telling the kids the truth. They all came at me, especially his mother who hated me all those years for no apparent reason. She called me a bee and said that if my relationship with the kids is ruined, then it would be because of my own doing, and I have no one to blame but myself for being such an awful wife and mother. It escalated. He's moving out, and the kids are with my mom. I'm feeling utterly devastated right now, but started to think that my outburst was unnecessary. And calling him a psycho and causing a scene instead of de-escalating the situation might have been wrong. Remember, your relationship with your children is a marathon, not a sprint. One day they will look back on this and think their dad is a psycho. They will have lots of other examples of him being a nut job by then. Remember the Christmas dad traumatized us? While sipping wine together in their 30s over a Christmas dinner. Always be the bigger person. Always rise above and put your kids first. Trust that your soon-to-be ex cannot hide his rotten core forever. Honestly, this should be documented as an attempt at parental alienation when the conversation turns to custody. I love this advice. When your kids are older, they'll see everything for what it is. You can't control what their dad does, but you can control how you respond. Keep being the bigger person even when it's hard. They will remember who was there for them. Don't wait for them to be older. Explain why you're leaving. They're both old enough to understand. What he did was petty and wrong, but you're certainly being incredibly vague about the important details. We only have your side of the story when it comes to why you're getting divorced, and you admit that his medical condition is a major reason you're choosing to divorce him now, so I'm not sure you're much better. Until you provide more details about the cause of the divorce or his medical condition, I'm saying everyone sucks here. My relationship with him has been bad already, and now I just don't think things will get better after his diagnosis. In fact, I'm 110% certain they'll get worse. I'm sure he'll just get more needy and controlling, and I don't think I can take it. Next story. My wife is sad because I got my sister a much more romantic Christmas gift than I got her. Am I the a-hole? Last night, my family hosted a gift party. We invited siblings, parents, and grandparents. The party was going great, and everyone was genuinely happy when they opened their gifts. My wife had a Christmas list, and I got my wife all the items from the Christmas list. My sister opened her gift last, and after looking at the gift for a minute, she broke down in tears and hugged me. For context, when my sister's first boyfriend broke up with her back in high school, it really hurt her. I still remember how she was when she came home from school that afternoon. She was just a mess. She was also going through a lot of other issues. That night, I drove her to a park near where we lived, and we just sat on the grass and looked at the stars. It was really emotional, and my sister still talks about that night occasionally. So, for my sister's Christmas gift this year, I got her a canvas of a customized star map of what the stars in the sky looked like that night. I also wrote a personalized note on that canvas. Everyone wanted to have a look, and they thought it was a really sweet gift. Well, everyone except my wife. Later that night, my wife told me how hurt she was feeling that I chose that romantic gift for my sister and not for her. I told my wife there was nothing romantic about that gift, and besides, that gift didn't even cost that much. My wife's Christmas gift list cost a lot, and I was happy to get my wife every item on the list. I just didn't understand why my wife was feeling sad. I told my wife if she wants the star map, I can get her one too, of what the stars looks like in the sky the night I proposed to her. But my wife told me it isn't the same, and to leave it. This morning, my wife still looks somewhat sad. Am I the a-hole? I don't understand where I went wrong. I thought we had a perfect Christmas. Now for the comments. I feel like there's a lot more context needed here. Do you normally give other people really thoughtful, heartfelt gifts while just checking off items on your wife's list? Or do you try to give her thoughtful gifts too? She's not mad about the gift. She's mad about the thought that went into it, and how she doesn't feel like you gave her that amount of emotional effort. Meanwhile, you're acting like spending money on her is the equivalent of emotional effort. To most people, they are not the same thing. Then when she says she's upset, you acted like the gift itself, the star map, was the issue. And again, put no emotional effort into the response you gave. You said you would just copy-paste the same gift you gave your sister. She didn't want the map. She wants the effort and the care. I would bet this goes a lot deeper than just this one Christmas. How often do you put effort into other relationships while acting like your relationship with the person you chose to marry is on the back burner? One of the last nails in my marital coffin was a Christmas where I had gotten my then husband a few small gifts. We had many troubles then, so I couldn't get a lot that were meaningful to him, his family, and their heritage. He got me nothing. I told myself that was okay because of finances. And then he showed me a thoughtful gift he had gotten one of his managers. I froze. It wasn't a romantic gift at all. Personally, I think it was to get on his co-worker's good side. I don't think it worked. But I remember standing in my living room and just being still as he told me how much time it took picking out this gift. Here I was, his wife and mother of his children, and he couldn't even take the time to get me a candle or scented hand lotion. The saying, "it's the thought that counts," is very true for many of us. I'm wondering if Opie's wife gives him a list of things, because if she didn't, he'd tell her he had no idea what to get her. Or maybe she's a materialistic bee. But I sense there's something deeper for Opie's wife. Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to give my mom the only gift she wanted for Christmas? A little backstory. My sister has resented my existence pretty much since I was born. When I got pregnant with my oldest daughter, my sister became very controlling. She would demand to be at every OB appointment and tried to demand we let her in the delivery room when only one person was allowed in beside me. Every first for my oldest had to involve my sister because she's never had a kid before. This is my first kid too, you know? My sister became obsessed with my oldest, to the point I believe she was borderline grooming her to believe that she was the mom and not me. My family and I relocated a couple of months ago halfway across the country. This decision came because my sister threatened to call CPS on me for not allowing her to take my oldest over the entire summer break. She told me she'd have me lose custody of both kids. The reason I wouldn't let her take my oldest for the summer was because she had literally just threatened to bring her pistol to my mom's house and put a bullet in my fiancé's head. We moved a few months back to get away from that toxicity. I figured this was the best option for us and decided to still keep somewhat of a relationship with my sister. We would video chat almost daily. On my oldest's 5th birthday, my sister made a call to CPS. She claimed my fiancé and I were sexually abusing my 5-year-old and we were physically neglecting both children. She sent in a photo of my 2-year-old with chocolate ice cream on her face because she'd literally just finished the ice cream. My sister saw her eating it, so she knew it was fresh, yet still took a screenshot and used that as evidence that I'm neglecting my kids because they're always dirty. The sexual abuse claim came because my 5-year-old had a diaper rash and it was bothering her. So she said, "My butt hurts." My daughter is autistic and has epilepsy. We're working on potty training still. I know it was my sister who reported us because she bragged about it. And I know for sure this report was her being mad that we moved away. She wanted to get back at me for taking her kids away from her. I decided it was best to go fully no contact with my sister. She tried to hurt my kids, and she hurt me and my fiancé pretty badly. To me, what she did was unforgivable. Today, with it being Christmas, I called my mom on Messenger so the kids could show her what they got and tell her Merry Christmas. The conversation went pretty well until the end when she went into another room and asked me if I could do her a favor. I said, "Sure, what's up?" And she goes, "Have the kids talk to your sister. It's Christmas." I told her no, I will not have that. She tried to hurt my kids, and I don't want them around someone who would do that. My mom started crying and going on about how it's Christmas, and it'd just be for a couple of minutes. Then we can go back to no contact. I told her that it was my daughter's birthday when she decided to try and ruin her life. My mom started crying and said she wanted to get off the phone, so we hung up. The last time my kids saw my sister since going no contact, they kept asking for 2 weeks about talking to her. This wouldn't be a one-time thing. This would be them begging and crying to see my sister, and them not understanding why they can't. Was I being an a-hole here? This was the only thing my mom asked for Christmas this year. Not the a-hole for protecting your kids from harmful behavior. Not the a-hole. You're protecting your children from someone who has proven to be harmful and dangerous, and that takes priority over anything, even family requests. Your sister's actions, including the CPS report and threat, have had a serious impact on your family, and it's understandable that you would refuse to expose your kids to her. While your mom's feelings are valid, her request puts your children at risk emotionally, and you are right to set boundaries. You made a difficult decision to protect your children, and that is never something to apologize for. She threatened to shoot your fiancé. She called CPS on your daughter's birthday. She has threatened to take your child. At this point, a restraining order is the bare minimum. She's dangerous. She could kidnap your daughter and unalive your fiancé in the process. Your reaction is weak. Tell your mom that if she ever pushes for your sister again, then you will need to reevaluate if she should be allowed near them too, considering she gives zero care about her safety. Not the a-hole. Your sister is mentally unstable, and your mom is enabling her. Your mom is the biggest a-hole in this. She should be getting your sister help instead of endangering your kids. I've strongly considered a restraining order and was about to go to the court to get one when I read that to do that, I have to provide my address. I felt it would end up being safer to move as soon as we could and not give anyone our address and only use a P.O. box if needed. If I didn't have to provide my address to get a restraining order, I'd 100% do that.